Hello and welcome back. My name is Alyssa and today I'm bringing you guys a book haul. I'm not the kind of channel that does book hauls every single month. I think that's overkill. I'm gonna be honest. If you're managing to pull off like a book haul of like 30 plus books every single month, that's just a bit overkill in my opinion. That's my personal thoughts. Those out of the way. Yes, I'm bringing you guys a book haul. Now, most of these books are from this year, but there are a few from like November to December-ish of last year that I did not share. And if I did share them already, sorry. I'm not going back and looking at my old videos to see which books I shared or not. So if you see them a second time, you see them a second time. If it's your first time here, hey, it's your first time seeing them. So I think that works out. But this is essentially all the books that I've gotten at least from January till now, mid-April. April's almost over and I do not see myself getting any more books. I will say April has been my most lucrative month as it turns, like for it being how many I've received this month, but also a lot of them are used books. So yeah. But anyways, with that said, I do have this split up into special editions and then used mass markets, standard paperbacks that are a combination of used and new, and then some manga. So we're gonna actually start with the manga pile because I only have 3 of them in that. So we're gonna actually, no, I'm gonna start with my audiobooks. I'm a liar. I want to start with these so that I can edit the pictures really quickly in the beginning and then move on. Mind you, I don't buy a lot of audiobooks because they're expensive and 90% of the time they are out of my financial wheelhouse. But I do have Chirp, and Chirp will be like, hey, these books are 99 cents. Are you interested? And I'll be like, well, what is it? And then I'm like, hey babe, I'm interested in that. For 99 cents? Yeah. So that's pretty much the only time I ever personally buy audiobooks is if I can find them for under $5. So anyways, so the audiobooks I got, which it's so funny because it's all from one author. And that author would be Louis L'Amour. He writes Westerns. I'm in this Western phase right now, guys. I'm loving it. But I got the Trail Mix Volumes 1 and 2. These are narrated by Willie Nelson. I thought that was kind of cool. One of them actually, because these were actually recorded prior to the rest of the Highwaymen passing away. And one of in Volume 1, the first story that they read, it's performed by the entire Highwaymen. And I think that's pretty cool. It sounds amazing. I've already listened to both of these audiobooks. They sound amazing. But yes, I bought both of those. And then I also bought Draw Straight, The Trail to the Crazy Man, The Strong Land, Keep Traveling Writer, and Louis L'Amour's Western Tales. These are all books by Louis L'Amour. They are all they're all short stories. This man, I'm gonna do a whole video on this man because I'm in love with this man's writing right now. But he has so many stories out there. And a lot of them are short stories, and these were all between 99 cents and $1.99. And then if you bought them like in a bundle, Chirp would like knock off some more money. So yeah, I think altogether for all of them, because I think I bought Trail Mix first for a bundle of like $3 and some cents, and then the other ones I bought for a bundle of 8. So that's like what, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's $11 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 audiobooks. That sounds like a pretty good deal to me. So yeah. Then I did pick up 3 ebooks. I don't buy ebooks often anymore either. That's just because I tend to forget that I own a Kindle. But I picked up Buddy Knight and the Queen of Sorrow by Peter David. I've seen this one floating around every now and then when I used to be on Twitter more, not so much anymore. But I used to see that one floating around quite a bit, and I believe it like went on sale recently, and then so I decided to grab it. Then I grabbed Last Outlaw by Lee Hall, and if I remember correctly, this is I want to say it's a Weird West, but it might just be a standard Western. I'm not sure, but it's in that wheelhouse somewhere. And then I also got Joiner and Rust by Lavi Tidar. This is a short story. I tend to buy all of Lavi Tidar's short stories because I really love his short stories. I think he does really good with them. And I've actually read that one, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I want to say I talked about it back in January-ish. So now that those are the digital stuff, now we can get to the physical stuff, which is probably more interesting because it's easier to hold up books. So, like I said, we're gonna start with the manga since I only have 3 and it's the smallest pile. And first up is Trigun. I'm pretty certain I have shown this one on the channel, but it's okay. We can show it again. But I got this for Christmas from my sister. It is the first volume. I love Trigun. I grew up with it, and it's one of my absolute favorites, but I've never actually read the manga itself. I've always just been an anime girly, so this was really nice. I think there's like two or three others. I can't quite remember. Yeah, at least I have the first volume, and it's in the really nice, these new like huge leather bound editions that Dark Horse has been doing. So yeah, as you can see, I still have not unwrapped it yet. It means I have not read this yet still. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but yeah, eventually I will get to this. But if you guys have not familiarized yourself with Trigun, I highly recommend it. I recommend watching the original as well as the new one. The new one is pretty good. I enjoyed it. But I'm also I like the original like 90s version, so, but that's what I grew up on. Then we have volume 1 and volume 2 of Veil by Koteri, and when you put them together, look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Like, you guys, look at this art. Like, Koteri's art, gorgeous. And they're not long. These have been volumes 1 and 2 have been like out of stock for like a year now, and Barnes & Noble finally got them back in. I hopped on that as quickly as I could. Okay, I have read up to volume 5 so far, but they're quick little episodic chapters. So as you can see, they're like quick little episodic kind of things, and it follows a blind woman and the man that she becomes friends with, and it kind of like, touches on the intimacy between two people without like putting labels on it. It's very romantic. It's so romantic, and I love it. It's everything that I personally deem romantic. Like, I know we have like the romance genre, and people are like, oh my god, these books are so romantic. They're really not. Like, what this manga does, this is romance to me. This is romantic. Everything that these two do is just, I just sit there and I just go, oh. I'm just like, oh, that's so romantic. I love it so much, and I'm so glad to finally have those ones. Volume 3, I believe, comes out in June. So I'm hoping that now that things are like looking a bit more stable in my life and everything, that I'll be able to like stay on top of being able to get those volumes as they come out, because I don't want to have to wait like a whole year to get the next ones. Even though, like I said, I've read up to volume 5 because I've read them digitally, I still, like, I will own this. I will reread this. I love this. Ugh, it's amazing. So, yes, that is the mangas that I picked up. Not a lot, but that's okay. We're getting things rolling again. I also, just as a heads up, I did reactivate my Barnes & Noble membership, which definitely helps with being able to get some of these other things, because I get that 10% discount, free shipping, which is super vital in today's society right now with that free shipping, with everyone trying to increase shipping prices. The world's not on fire, guys. So anyways, let's do the special edition pile. And we're going to start with 2 books by the same author from the same series. I don't remember if I showed one of them, but I definitely feel like the other one I didn't show. But we have Pretenders to the Throne and Lives of Bitter Rain, both by Adrian Tchaikovsky. These are the Goldsboro editions. So as you can see, like, these sprayed edges on this one are really good. I'm not the kind of person who really falls head over heels for sprayed edges. Honestly, like, I'm actually in this point where I'm like, can they go back to being white again? Can they? But I do have to say, like, what Goldsboro has done with this particular series has been amazing. And because this one is a novella, they actually put the pictures on the inside boards, which was nice. Like, that was the compromise that they did, because obviously you're not going to put it there. So, but yes, we have these ones. I have the whole series right now. I'm pretty certain that this was the final book in it. I have not started it. Uh, but I have read Adrian's work before. They're not always wins for me. They're hits, they're misses, you know, they're back and forth. I feel like I'll like this one just based on the synopsis of what the series is about, so I'm not too worried. So next we have, these ones were Broken Binding, because I do have the Broken Binding sub. I don't remember if I talked about these ones, so I'm just gonna, it's highly possible I did. I actually don't even remember the last time I did a book haul, so sorry guys. Kings of the Wild and Bloody Rose. I definitely feel like maybe I did talk about these two, because I vehemently hate them. I do not like these. And the crazy part is, like, this is like my favorite series of all time. I love Kings of the Wild and I love Bloody Rose. I just think these covers are hideous. I don't like them. I think this was a major miss on Broken Binding's part. I just, you know, I just don't care for it, especially when they have this on the inside. Like, that would have been a badass cover for Bloody Rose, okay? Like, it genuinely would have. Like, even this would have been better. But instead they just gave us generic fantasy. You know? And the same goes for Kings of the Wild. Like, the inside art, so much better. Like, and I'm not saying that the art on the outside is bad. I'm just saying that, like, this doesn't scream Kings of the Wild. Like, I honestly wish that they had done a more rock and roll vibe, you know, like really leaned into the rock and roll vibe and the music aspect that helped inspire the series. But whatever, that's what happens when you have influencers working for you. And then we have also from Broken Binding. So this is actually the first redesign that I have actually been satisfied and have actually liked, because to be quite honest, I have not liked any of their redesigns. I was the person who signed up for the sub back in the very, very beginning. I've been a sub since day one, and I signed up because they were like, we're bringing fantasy books to hardback that have never been in hardback while keeping the original covers. And then all of a sudden they were like, we're a Luma Crate now, we can change the covers. And I've pretty much hated every single design they've done, but this is one where I actually do like the redesign. And it is the Bone Shard War, the Bone Shard Daughter, and the Bone Shard Emperor, all by Andrea Stewart. And I will show them each. These were the January, February, March books. So that's that one. And then we have this one. Those are the sprayed edges. That's the back. And then, so like I said, this is actually one that I actually do like the redesign. I think they did like fantastic with this redesign. It just, they don't, I don't know. I just feel like the art itself, gorgeous, fantastic, but I also like the fact that it just, they feel more vibey and moody, even though they do like point towards things that are happening in the story, but you can't really pinpoint it. But there's just something about them when I look at them, they're absolutely stunning. So this out of all the redesigns they've done so far, this is the only one that I've ever actually been satisfied with. So yeah. I will say, because I know they're doing the Faithful and the Fallen next, I do actually like those ones too. I like the artist that they got, and I like the style and everything, but I am also glad that they are doing reversible dust jackets, and you're getting the old cover as well, so that's a positive. If they had given me Richard Anderson's covers for Kings of the Wild, I would have flipped it, but they didn't. So, and then oh, nope, this is not the last special edition. The next special edition that I got was Barbarian Alien by Ruby Dixon. Era Books is putting these out. It's got just a little pink sprayed edges. This is like one of the few romance series that I genuinely love. And this is book 2 with Liz and Rahush, who are amazing. They're just a silly, funny couple. She loves Star Wars, okay? She loves Star Wars. It's so funny. But yes, this one came in. Very happy about it. Era Books is hoping to be able to do the whole series. Mind you, that's like 18 books. So we'll see if that actually happens. All right, and then the last major special edition that I have is a very, very expensive one, and actually a series that I had attempted to read last year and then I put on hold because it was not working out for me at the time, but I was also going through a lot. But I do feel that I will fully like this series once I get into it and I, read it. But we have the Andradia editions of Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio. So I also was not expecting it to be that thick, to be honest, but I also know that they use really thick paper. I don't remember what all the stats are on it and everything. But yeah, this was, and I know there's illustrations throughout it as well. I haven't looked at them because usually when a book comes with illustrations, I try not to look at them until I read it because I don't want to be spoiled on anything. But yes, this big guy. I have quite a bit of the Christopher Rocchio stuff from them. This sucker is heavy, you guys. That one came in. I still have to say that I prefer the original cover. I really like the purple and the masked man and like it looking very science fiction-y. I really like that one. Like, this is nice. The art is very nice. It's very pretty when you look at it. But I don't know, I really fell in love with that cover of the original Empire of Silence. Like, it just hits for me. So now let's do the mass markets, just because there's quite a few of them. You are not a mass market. So let's see. Most of them are fantasy. There are 4 of them that are not. So we'll start with those. Yeah, there's 4 of them that are not. So we'll start with those. And these ones I picked up from either Half Price Books or my local used bookstore called Boomerang Books. And we have Barbara Cartland, Lord Ravenscar's Revenge, A Season at Brighton by Alice Chetwood Leigh. Kind of move them a little closer for you guys. The Winter Bride by Carola Sansbury? Carola? I don't want to say Carola. I bet that's not her name. It's probably Carola. And then Moon Chapel by Lena Cooper. These are each, at least for sure, these 3 are considered Gothic romances. And then this one, it was in the Gothic romance section, but it's very possible it's just Regency romance. Because he had, over at Boomerang Books, he had these combined, the Regency and the Gothic together. Probably because there is some overlap in that. So it's very possible that it's not. But like, this is one of those authors where she had like a million books. Like, it says on there that this is book 85. They're not part of a series. It's just the 85th book that she wrote or something like that, from my understanding. I didn't do like a super deep dive into it. But yeah, she's one of those authors where she was just pumping out books left and right. And it's because they're all like novella size. I'm very much like, I'm very much into like the Gothic books and everything, but I've been reading more of like the New Age Gothic, and so I decided to like pick up a few of the older ones and see what those are like. Haven't read any of them yet, but we'll get there. And then now we'll move on to the fantasy mass markets that we picked up. These first 3 I got from Half Price Books. And first up we have Shadow Star by Chris Claremont, story by George Lucas. This is the third book in the, I forget what the actual series is called, But this is a follow-up book series to the movie Willow. And I've had books 1 and 2 forever, and I have been trying to search for book 3, and I finally found it, and it's in like brand new freaking condition. Like this thing, I don't think the person read this. But so I now finally have the whole set. I don't know if I'm going to get to it this year or maybe next year, but you know, at least I have it now. And then I picked up Exile by Rowena Corey Daniels, book 2 of the Outcast Chronicles. So this is actually a replacement. So I have this one, but I have it in the taller format. It's like directly behind me, but it's this book right here. As you can see, the other 2 books next to it are shorter, and then that one's taller. Yeah, I bought it online, and it said it was the mass market, and they sent me the trade paperback. And I have had that on my shelves for like 4 years, and it has driven me crazy for 4 years. And I found this at Half Price Books, basically brand new, unread. And I was like, bam, finally, I can replace it. And I haven't read the series yet. But I am familiar with Rowena's work, and I do love her writing, so I will read it eventually. And then I picked up The Mountains of Majipur by Robert Silverberg. I have read this. I picked this one up recently. This is one of the ones I picked up here in April, and I picked it up, and literally like the next day I was like, I have to read that. Like I have to. And it was quite interesting, if I must say. There was only a few elements where I was like, oh, sir, that's questionable. But overall, I thought it was fun. I found the author's writing to be really easy to get into, which is, you know, kind of like a big thing, because sometimes these older mass market fantasies, they can be a little tough to get into. So then these are all the ones that I got these next paperbacks are the ones that I got while I was in Oregon with my bestie. And the first one up is The Last Wish. This is actually one that she had picked up for me like months ago. So while I was there, I just, you know, picked it up. I really like these covers. I know there's a lot of people who hate these covers, but I really like them. So that'll go with the rest of the paperbacks that I have. Then I picked up Merlin's Ring by H. Warner Munn. This is actually, it goes to a series that I already have from this author. I believe this is the second book in the series. I have the first one, and I finally found it. Like, finding this in person has been a nightmare. So I finally found it, and it was like $2, I think. And because most of the time, like on eBay, like people are wanting like $8 to $10 for it, and I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. In bad condition. Like this, normally I wouldn't buy a book with this kind of spine, but I wasn't gonna like pass up on the opportunity. So then we have Silver on the Tree by Susan Cooper. I believe this is which book number is this in the Dark is Rising series? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the 5th in the series. So it is the final. I have 3 and 4. So now I just need 1 and 2 of these covers and everything. And there's a high chance that when I read it, because it is a King Arthur retelling, there is a high chance that if I read it and I end up falling in love with it, I will buy a newer-ish version, because there is a newer version that they've put out that I really like those covers, but we'll see. Then I picked up Andre Norton's Merlin's Mirror, which is King Arthur in space, essentially. And I was like, yeah, I want to read that. I'm here for that because I love King Arthur, if you guys know. And then I picked up The Boy Who Was Thrown Away by Stephanie A. Smith. So originally I was looking at her Snow Eyes book, and I was super interested in it, and because he had both of them. And as I was flipping through it, I got to a page where the whole thing had been ripped apart and taped together, and I was like, I can't do that. So I passed on Snow Eyes, but I picked up The Boy Who Was Thrown Away, and it's basically about a little boy who gets kidnapped, and now as an adult, he's dealing with the repercussions of that, but it also deals with, I believe the people who kidnapped him, they are priest musicians. And I was really intrigued by that idea. And I was just like, oh, no, I'm sorry. He was sold into slavery to a city ruled by priest musicians. That's what it was. Either way, priest musicians exist, and I found it quite interesting, and I was like, I want to read that. And then the last mass market I got is my girl Patricia, The Changeling Sea. This is actually going to be a replacement because I do already own this one. It's just the current copy I have is in really, really bad shape. And this has no bind breaks. Like the most is like this tiny little bend right here. But other than that, this is really good. Also, the one I have, it's got like the spine cracking and there's like a giant sticker on the bottom. And it's just in really poor condition. And so this is a replacement for my current version. I have read this book. Very, very, very good book. But I'm also like super biased to Patricia. She's my girl. So yeah. So that is all the mass markets that I picked up. And so now we'll just go into the standard editions. And then at the very end are 2 books that I'm super excited that I finally found. First, we have Unicorn and Dragon by Lynn Abbey. This was just a random book that I picked up at half price. It was $1. It was in their clearance section. I actually just really love this particular artist and I love their covers. And so I was like, it's $1. It does have like a pretty bad spine, but honestly for $1, I didn't really want to pass it up or whatever. Never heard of it, never heard of the author, so that'll be fun to get into and try. Then let's do this one. This is actually a trilogy that I picked up. I actually bought these from the booktuber Trin over at Portable Magic. But this is Cold Copper, Tin Swift, and Dead Iron, all by Devin Monk. These are the covers. It's the whole trilogy. It's a steampunky trilogy, and so I had attempted to start it last year after I bought it from her, but like I said, there was like so much garbage going on in my life that I just really couldn't get into anything. So yeah, but I do have hopes to maybe reading it this year. Then this is another book that I picked up from my bestie while I was out there in Oregon, and it is The Darkest King, Lords of the Underworld by Gina Showalter. It is the first one in the series, I believe, after the like little novella or whatever. But it's a romance. It's a paranormal romance, and she has, in the early days, her and Kresley Cole were like really good friends, and I'm a big fan of Kresley Cole's Immortals After Dark. So and apparently there have been some character crossovers, and so we haven't fully dived into this series yet, but she found this for like I think $1 or $2. And so she picked it up and was like, here, I'll send it to you. And then I just picked it up when I saw her in person. Then we have Madeline Miller's Galatea. This was actually just kind of like a spur of the moment thing because I do own this already. I own the UK version. This is the US version, but I found it at the Dollar Tree for $1. Like, I can't pass that up. Like, come on. And then I picked up a second one to gift to my coworker because she's into Greek mythology, but she has never read Madeline. And I was like, this is where you can start. She read it. She loved it. And I was like, see? I know what I'm talking about, guys. And we have Brothers Ruin by Emma Newman. So I actually found this book probably 4 or 5 years ago through Goodreads, and I have been searching for it ever since. And while we were in Oregon at the used bookstore, guess what was on the shelf? Brothers Ruin. I got so excited. I was like, oh my god. And she was like, what? And I was like, I've been looking for this forever. And she was like, okay. And I was like, no, you don't understand, because even my library doesn't have this book. And she was like, oh. And I was like, exactly. Like, so I finally got it. I'm so excited. I really hope it is good considering how long I've been looking for it. At this point, I don't even remember what it's about. I just know that like I love the cover and the title is so enticing. Brothers Ruin. Like, I don't yeah. Knight in the Knave of Swords by Fritz Lieber, the climax of the Fard and Grey Mouser epic. So it is a conclusion. But again, I found this for like $1. And it's in the hardcover, like it's in really good condition. It has deckled edges. I love deckled edges. I know like everybody in the book community like abhors them, but I love them. But yeah, I couldn't really pass up a dollar. And it's so funny because like I went back to Half Price Book like probably like 2 weeks after that, and they had it on the shelf, and I was like, do I have this? Do I not have this? And mind you, it was like $8. And so like I picked it up and I walked around, but also because I'm a smart girl, I have a spreadsheet, and I had updated my spreadsheet, and I was like, I feel like I have this, but I'm not sure if it's this one I have or if it's a different one. And so I like found like a place out of way in the bookstore because I'm not the kind of person who blocks stuff. And I went searching through my thing, and sure enough, I had it. And the fact that I found it 2 weeks earlier for $1 in their clearance section, and then someone else had turned it in and they put it back on the shelf for $8. You gotta check those the clearance section. You really do. Me and my daughter went to Barnes & Noble after I had reactivated my membership. That's the word. So I reactivated it, and it's funny because like she wants to start a vinyl collection, and she found out Barnes & Noble carries them. And so I told her once a month we will take a trip to Barnes & Noble, and she will get a vinyl, I will get a book. While we were there, she picked out her vinyl, and then I picked out my book, and then she found that they carried CDs, and she got super excited about that too. And she was like, can I get a CD too? And I was like, well, if you're getting a CD and a vinyl, I'm getting 2 books. So we splurged a little bit the first time. And the 2 books that I picked up were Water Black by Alex Phoebe. This is the 3rd book in the, what is this series called? Oh my gosh. What is it? Cities of Weft. That's what it is. This is the 3rd book in the Cities of Weft. The first book is Mordu. The second is Marlequoy. And then the last one is Water Black. I have read Mordu. I really enjoyed it. And then I have not read Marlequoy yet. And now that I have this one, I can read them and finish out the series. It's just a weird little series. It's weird. It's strange. It's just, I love it. Okay. I think if I remember correctly, in the first book, the dead body of God is in the basement of some guy. Yeah. That's to give you a general idea of the weirdness of it. And then the second book that I picked out was Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman. And it's just got the black edges, which I think are just fine. Like, honestly, a lot of people hate on solid spines, solid sprayed edges and stuff. I like them. Like, you guys are expecting too much. Like, chill out. And then it's got that in there and everything. But I know this one has recently been popping off and everything. But it's funny because I was actually interested in reading this about 2 years ago before it started popping off. I just never got around to getting it because it was only in the indie edition, and I really didn't like the cover for that. And then it got re-released with this newer cover, and then it started popping off, and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I went ahead and grabbed that one. And then we have 4 books left, guys, just 4. These next 2 are from a series that I absolutely love with all my heart and soul. And we have Penrick and the Bandit and The Adventures of the Demonic Ox, both by Lois McMaster Bujold. These are part of the Penrick and Desdemona series. And these are the sub-press editions. These are both signed. I'm also not a person to like freak out over signed editions or whatever, but you know, the standard was 45, the signed was 45, so why not? But I'm not the kind of person who will be like, oh my god, it's not signed. It really doesn't change anything for me. But yes, these are the most recent ones in the Penrick series. I love Penrick with all my heart and soul. He is such an amazing character, and I love the way he talks about his wife. Oh my gosh, he's so in love with her. But they're just, the thing that I love about this series is that they're just so episodic, and it's just, each book is just an event that happens in Penrick's life and everything. And more people need to read this series. It's absolutely amazing. But also don't buy the sub-press ones because I'm buying those. So yeah. And then the last 2 books are 2 books that have been considered like a holy grail. When I finally get a hold of them, my life will be complete. I do believe I'm still missing at least 2 more of her hardbacks, but I know for sure that these ones pretty much complete a specific part of her hardback collection that I have been trying to get. And of course, these are my girl, Patricia A. McKillop. Okay, we have Umbria in Shadow. Okay, look at that. Look at that gorgeousness. And then hold on, because it's a whole scene. Her covers are always entire scenes. All right. Okay, so we have Umbria in Shadow. And then we have The Bell at Sealy Head. This one was probably, of the two, this one was harder to find. And again, the full wraparound art. Okay. Like this woman, whimsy, whimsy, what is the word? Like fairy tale. That's what I was going for. That's what Patricia writes. That's who she is. She embodies it, okay? I've been seeing some people try to attach the word romantasy to her books. Please don't do that, okay? Because some of her books don't end in a happily ever after, okay? Some of them just don't even focus on the romance. It just has a romantic element to them. So please don't attach that stupid word to her books, okay? But no, these are fairy tales. Like, she is just like the queen of like fairy tale retellings and fairy tale inspired type of stories, okay? I love her vibe. I love her work, okay? But this pretty much covers everything. Like I said, I think there's just two more, but I think those hardcovers that I need are books that I have in paperback. And one of them is for sure The Changeling Sea, because there is a hardcover version of that one. And then I want to say that there are hardcover copies of her trilogy, The Riddle Master of Head, but I have to do a bit more research into that. But I do own those already. So it's not like a huge, I have to have them right now kind of thing. Whereas these ones were, I did not have these, and I wanted these particular editions because they go with the rest of the collection. So if you guys are interested, I could totally do a video showing off the collection of Patricia's that I have, and also just kind of like talking about her and talking about which ones I've read and what they're about and if I like them, because I love them all. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know down in the comments below, okay? Like, I would love to know if you guys want to hear me gush about my girl. But yeah, that is my book haul from, like I said, about probably November-ish to April of right now. It's a lot, but that's over a couple of months. And I think that's better than, 30 books every single month. This is more like 30, 40-ish books over a couple of months. And that works for me. Everybody is their own person. I get it. But I think this is better. Plus, it's all stuff that I'm excited for. I'm not just like buying stuff to be like, look at, I bought this. But I do have to say, out of everything that I've picked up, these are probably the ones that I'm most happy about. But that's just because Patricia is out of this world for me. So that is everything. If anything in here caught your eye or sounded interesting, please let me know down in the comments. And yeah, if not, just at least, I don't know, maybe leave an emoji down in the comments, because comments help push my videos out there into the algorithm. It does help the comments, the likes, and, all that kind of, they also have that new hype thing. I don't even know if my videos qualify for that. But all of that stuff helps push my videos out into the algorithm, and it would be really great if you guys would do that. If you're watching my videos, just leave a little emoji down there and everything to kind of help push it out there, because I do want to create a community. I want to talk to people. I want to have people to chat with in my comments, and I'm just not getting that, and it's so frustrating. So if you guys could be kind enough to do that, that'd be great. But yeah, that is the book haul. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.